Welcome to Hospitality Branding 101. And today we're talking about sharing on Facebook, social media, or more importantly, sharing the moment. Today, almost everything is surrounding social media. If you're not on social media, you're probably missing out on a lot. Or maybe you're living under a rock. So more than likely you're on social media. Today, we have a special guest, part of the CGL group, and we're just excited to really get her involved. But just before we do, have you been accessing the webinar? Have you been getting the best out of it? If you haven't, let me give you a recap in terms of how do you get the best out of these webinars. Remember why we did this. We want to be able to share with some of the industry experts in the field so that they are able to share their expertise. To this first series of webinars, we've really had the presence of CGL Visual Graphic Design Agency, which really went through all of the different steps, or basically touched some of the steps as it relates to your branding. They spoke about your color palettes, about your font style. And last episode, they spoke about your logo. And today we're really going to bring it together with that special guest. But as I said, if you haven't joined the webinar, now is a good time to be able to join the webinar. And we have had quite a bit of giveaway from one of our sponsors, which is CGL Visuals. So if you haven't connected with CGL Visuals as yet, remember you could go to their homepage, which is cglvisuals.com, and simply check out some of their services. If you want to go to their store, and we're going to touch on this later, the website is cglvisuals.com, and you could also go to the store. We will touch that later as well. But this is also sponsored by Vivid Consultancy Group, which is going to be giving away a full managed website. So if you want to get more information about a fully managed website, just go to vividconsultant.com and just come to the top and choose manage website, and you're going to get an idea of what we're going to be giving away. So at the end of this episode, that will be just before the next episode, we're going to be selecting one winner, and they're going to be winning the executive package, which is valued $169 US monthly, but they're going to be getting this for the entire year. That's close to 2,000 US of value. We're going to build your website from scratch, make sure it fits your branding, connect it with your OTAs, make sure it syncs, ensure it connects with your payment gateway, and you will be able to start taking online bookings when we launch this and support you for a year free of cost. You can't ask for a better deal than that. What do you got to do to get involved? Of course, you got to be part of the webinar. It's free. Sign up by simply going to the webinar website. So you could go to Vivid Consultant /webinar and scroll down. This page will keep updating as we change the webinar. So even though today is the last episode for this series, we're going to be continuing with these webinars. So if you haven't registered, come down to the bottom of the page, type in your email address, your name, and register for the webinar so that we could send you updates. We also will summarize some of these contents in the event that you missed it, that you could definitely join. Do you want to connect with me and other hospitality providers and those that are just passionate about the industry? Then you got to join the Facebook group. So just go to facebook.com group and select hospitality tools. Just register. I will get an invitation and I will join you. So in the group is where we share insight. You have any questions, you just have any feedback about hospitality, there is where we're going to be connecting from time to time. So it's the place to be. Go to facebook.com groups hospitality tools for you to join. So that's some of the preliminary. So as I said, I have a special guest today from the CGL Visuals group. I'm going to be bringing her in so that she could introduce herself. I've already given away, you already knows a she. All right, so you've been seeing Carlton for the last 3 weeks or so on. I've saved the best for last. So thank you. And so I'm seeing Ricia Island Regency. So I'm going to ask you just to introduce yourself. Who is the person behind Ricia Island Regency?
Well, first of all, let me say hello to you, Joshua, and all the viewers online. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that this session will help you all out a lot with some of the pain points that I will be addressing today. And I generally have my background in communication, advertising, marketing, but I got into this business, Ricia Island Regency, to address some personal pain points that I had when it came to forming connections and gifting, on the island of Tobago. So that really is what I will be speaking about, all of the solutions and all the challenges that I had that I was able to figure out. I'm hoping that it will help you guys as well in terms of navigating the landscape for your business and the trends that are now taking place in e-commerce and mobile commerce, as we call it.
All right, so I just can't help myself. I'm on your Instagram page, and I'm just blown away by your creativity, the type of compilation. It's so customized. I don't see the level of details very often. Where did your passion come from, Racy, for this level of detail that you go into in terms of creating your customized gift packages and so forth? And for those that really wondering what page am I on, you need to go and check out Reese's page on Instagram. I am looking for the link to it. So Reese, tell me about this. Where did your passion come from for designing these level of details as it comes to gift packages and so on?
Well, like I said, my business came out of a lot of pain points, personal pain points that I had, and I'll not go into it too deep because we have so much to talk about, but it really came from, some personal experiences that I had and me using gifting and holiday times to really form a deeper connection with my kids and to help, with our family life and moving forward. I really wanted to capitalize on those moments where I could create memories and connect so that when they, as they got older, they would remember those great memories, those little times where they would have gotten something, not only for their birthday or for Christmas, but probably after a graduation or they did something, probably end of term tests or probably SCA, just to kind of capitalize on those milestone moments to really enrich their lives and make it more memorable. So that would have translated, my love for my kids. I translate that into the gift boxes that I produce for others because I imagine that they are trying to create a really exceptional impression, whether it be for their spouse or their boyfriend, or they're trying to GT and they're trying to make an impression. Then yeah, you have to come good, right? You have to do something that is really going to capture someone's interest and make them feel special. So I pay a lot of attention to detail when it comes to my craft because you only have one chance to make a first good impression, and after that, it's like crisis management afterwards, which we don't want to do. So that early is where a lot of my creativity comes from. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, my question for you, I know you're going to be talking more about this, but this series is about hospitality. We try to bring value to those in the hospitality industry. You're
Yeah.
one person that has really understand all the different elements of branding that, Carlton spoke about over the last several weeks. And we now want to culminate that in memorable moments that you're able to create an experience for someone. And a lot of that may come from the unique gifts or merchandise that hospitality providers can do. Just one tip that you think hospitality providers could really use their branding for gift items or special moments. What would be one that you share? I know you're going to share more, but if you're to share one tip before we get into that, what would that be?
I would say that if they want to capitalize on branding for their establishment using gift items, that they should really be mindful of their the visitors. If they have more couples or they have more groups, pay attention to if they are there to celebrate an anniversary. So you would have spoke about this, Joshua. When they make their booking and they have arrived at the hotel or the resort, that's not the end of your job. Your preliminary screening process should have been able to bring out if they're there for an anniversary, if they're there for a group retreat. So in that way, you as the management at the hotel would be able to be mindful and probably craft some gift items that are very meaningful for their particular event. So if it's a couple, you would have spoken about that where the guy was going to propose to the young lady.
Yes.
You getting wind of that, you were able to pitch in and create something that added to that experience for the young man. And I'm sure he really appreciated it. If it's a couple and they're celebrating an anniversary, you in your capacity as management at the villa may know of something on the island that you think it can be of interest to them, and then you can make that recommendation for them to visit a particular spot while they're staying at your villa, or you can put together something in a box that they won't have time to go out and get because they're so cuddled up in their room, enjoying their alone time, so you can put together, that for them, because you know what they are there for. And yes, you're right. I will deep dive into this in presentation. But that is one quick tip that I can give for management and hotel providers, hospitality providers rather, for their branding of the gift items.
Excellent. So if you're just joining us, just stay put. What I'm going to do, Reese is going to come back. She's going to do a full presentation as it relates to how you really could use this and bring it together. I'm going to take a few minutes to just share some of the tips that I would say as a hospitality provider you want to take into consideration about leveraging social media. So Reese, we will see you shortly while I just go through this very brief presentation on sharing the moment. So I wanted to just take a few minutes to use this opportunity to share some tips as it relates to how do you take advantage of social media and making sure that you're connecting with audience. One of the things social media is, especially Facebook, it's not just a social engagement platform. It's an advertising platform. It's there to make money. And over the years, what you've seen with a lot of the platform, their algorithm have changed. So that if you're trying to really gain customers on social media and so on, you will recognize that you need to now spend money to get in front or get your ads in front of customers' face, unless they are engaging with your brand, unless they're finding something that is useful. So that's really where you want to get to. You want to be able to engage with your guests in a meaningful way so that you don't have to be spending a lot of your money to get the ads in front of customers. So we want to talk about how do you share the moment in a way that is going to encourage organic traffic. So the first thing I would say is be authentic in your interactions. Persons are looking at the way in how you're going to be interacting with them. Just remember that this conversation is two persons having a conversation, even though you might be separated across miles and you're just talking on a keyboard. You want to be able to use the person's name if you have it. And depending on what platform you're on, it might just be a handle that doesn't necessarily resonate. So I try to pick up even within the handle, is this a name? Is it a call phrase? Can I reference it? If it's something that clearly is not really a name, then I might try my best to see how I could work around who I'm talking to, so that as much as possible, they know that they're talking to a person. It's not just someone behind a keyboard. I like to introduce myself. I like to let them know early in the conversation that, hey, you're talking to Joshua. So in the event that you want to reference something, you know who you're talking to. And if you connect with the property after, you know that I was, or you could reference to say, hey, I was talking to Joshua online, because the person that take the phone call may not be the same person that they're talking to on social media. So try your best to be very authentic in how you're communicating with the guests, and in terms of just trying to be as personal as possible. In addition to that, be clear and consistent about your brand tone of voice. Now, we didn't touch this, but in reality, I want you to think about it for a second. Everyone speaks with a certain tone. And in the same way, a business has a tone. Your brand have a tone. For you, you might be a luxury brand, and the way you communicate should speak to that. The way you reference to the customer, the way you're talking and engaging with them will be clear with that. And you want to be consistent. What do I mean by that? Someone answers the phone, hi, thank you for contacting X. This is why we're talking to them. And they have a particular way in how they greet the customer on the phone. You want to almost replicate that on social media. You want to make sure that the same way you greet someone on one channel is the exact same way you would do, even though you're communicating in a different way. So be clear on your tone of voice that you want to have, the way you interact with person. Are you a very casual brand, a first name basis? Then be consistent with that and be very casual, so that the person that are coming to your property, they already know what to expect. You're not putting on a very luxury brand, and then when they come, it's a very laid-back experience. You're not putting on a very business-focused type of environment, but then when they come, you don't have a work desk for them to work. The Wi-Fi is not working well. No, you want to make sure you're consistent. So off the bat, if you're not going to be, if you want to be in that eco-friendly, then be upfront to let persons know, hey, we don't have TV in the rooms because we want you to relax. Don't let it be an afterthought. You want to be very upfront about it. Your visual representations should be authentic as well, in line with your tone. Let's say you updated your photography for your property 15 years ago, but since then, the color has changed. The property maybe don't look in the same way. Maybe you had a different approach. Don't represent it in that way online. And when the guests come, they're wondering, am I at the same property? No. So if it is that something has changed over the years, then update it. Just make sure that the visual look, the type of photos that you're posting is in line with your brand. You know, again, if you're a very high octane type of a hip, young type of branding, and that's the way you try to portray it, maybe you have more events on property, you have parties, you have music, and then that's the type of event you want to be promoting. You want to show some of the events you have on property. If you have certain stage shows or so forth, be consistent with that as well. Use an approachable tone. Let me give you an example. Sometimes I'm responding to persons on social media, and they come to the chat and they just say, hi. That's it. That's all they say. Hi. Now you have two options. You could respond, hi. But they're just trying to gauge the conversation and make sure someone is there. So you may want to do a little bit more than that. You may want to go above and beyond and say, hi, hey, this is Joshua. Is there something I could help you with? Are you interested in our special this month? What do you think they're going to say? Yeah, tell me about a special. Make sure you do have a special to talk about. So you should always have something to talk about. But there's where you could lead into, okay, I would happy to let you know about a special, but can I know how much guests you're trying to book for and when is your tentative date? So by the time they share that information, you should already have something in line for if it's a couple, if it's a larger group, or if you're trying to focus on a particular niche, then already be able to tell them about a special for that particular niche. And for whatever reason, you should always have some sort of value to talk about so that you could really relate it. But in that way, you're just not saying hi. You know, you should be welcoming and let the person feel like they want to talk. So in addition to that, you're one of the most authentic way of getting organic traffic is what we call guest generated content, where the users or the fans or the persons on your page is the one that is talking about your property, about the experience when they were there or their friends spoke about it or so on. So one of the ways in how you could leverage that is to consider having a unique hashtag that represents your property. Something that is just ties into your property, that it's something that you could continue to share. Are you close to a particular event, or do you have a particular event on your property every year? Do you have a turtle watching period that you want to highlight or share? Then come up with a unique hashtag that is tied to your property but still is engaging to what is taking place. It's not as simple as hashtag my property name, but no, it may be something that is trending, maybe something that takes place around your property, maybe it's a music festival that connects with something else that you could really tie into it. And if your property is then known for music or this particular event, then you may want to tie that into the hashtag. And as you share it, those persons will connect with that hashtag and indirectly drive traffic to your platform as well. Encourage persons to engage with your content by posting interesting attractions. I'll give you an example. Recently, I made an engagement post on one of the properties that I manage that spoke about one of the favorite beaches on the island. And one of the questions I simply asked, hey, tell me what's your favorite beach that you're interested in visiting when the lockdown was over? That post got so much persons engaging with that because it did a few things. It brought back a nostalgic feeling of what it felt like to go to the beaches before COVID and not having all the safety concern and mask and so forth. And persons could relate to that. It was simple. It just had quality images of the beaches that was very popular, very beautiful beach near to the property that I manage. And you found that by that instance, persons was just engaging with a post, and it just shoot up to the top of engagement, and that's where the algorithm will pick it up and say, hey, this is a very engaging post, share it to others because people are engaging with it. What else? You want to share your social cause. Do you have a social cause? If you don't, it's something that you should consider, and it ties back to the first point about being authentic. Don't take up a social responsibility or a social corporate responsibility because it's trending. It should be something that's tied to your core values that really means something to you. If you really don't have it, then don't do it, because the worst thing you could do is be seen by those out there as a company that's just trying to get attention by jumping on a trending cause that is taking place. It should be core to you, and it should be authentic, and it should be one that you are you're very passionate about. And when you are in that, there's nothing wrong with you communicating and sharing about it, so that persons that have that similar calling, you could really connect with them. That is an excellent way of you able to get guest generated content as well. The last point that I want to share with you is to make it easy for persons to share their experience online with their property. So one of the things I love when I travel is that they may create these kind of picture montage or a background, something that you could put your head in that talks about the flag or the location or historical site. It would be great to have those type of experience or something that is on the property that just makes it easy for persons to take a photo there and they could share it or so on. I remember I was posting just some amenities about one of the properties, and we were talking about a pool in the post and so on. And one of the previous guests posted an image of herself and her friends at the poolside and was just reminiscent about their time at the poolside. And I was just able to say, hey, I look forward to hosting you guys again when you come. And there was so much person that started engaging with that particular post, because it wasn't just us selling the property, it was the guests sharing their experience at the property that they could actually get their other friends to engage with the post. Don't be afraid to ask your guests to be involved in a social campaign in a way that they're comfortable with. If you're in an environment, you're having an event taking place or so forth, and you normally want to post some events about it or a recap, be open to just ask a guest, hi, do you mind if I share a photo with you and your family? As long as they're comfortable with it, there are many persons, they're happy to share their experience with you. And that way you're able to tag them in the post or so on, and their friends can experience it or share with that experience as well. And then reward them for participating. Be very open to share with them if there's something that you could do, and just very something that's simple or easy for you to give for them that is doing so. It's not trying to bribe them into doing so, but just be very genuine. It's not something that you promise, say, if you do this, I will give you this. No, they may not have expected anything, but still reward them for just participating in the campaign so that they'll feel more comfortable even in the future to do it themselves without you even asking them. And lastly, tell your guests where they could leave a review. It's not a given that they will know that you have a TripAdvisor review page that they could go and leave a review there. Maybe you do reviews on your website of it. So make it easy. Do you have a card that you could tell a person, this is our link? We would love for you to share a review when you get home and you're comfortable. Or maybe you could send them a follow-up email if you have their email address from when they're booked, and just ask them very nicely, hey, it was lovely hosting you. We would love to get your feedback to know how we could improve, and you could then give them the link to where the best places for them to leave that feedback. If it's TripAdvisor, your website, or some other location where you use for your feedback, then encourage persons to do so. So these are just a few tips that I'd want to share with you as it relates to how do you share your moment and make it easier for you to do so. So at this time, I'm going to bring back in Ricia, and I'm going to allow her to go into her session in regards to how you could really leverage your branding and doing things like gift packages and merchandising and things like that. So Ricia, I'm going to bring in your slide. You let me know if everything is working on your end before I go into backstage. Just let me make sure that your slides and so on are working. And I think it's up, and if you're seeing that, I'm going to backstage, and I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Yes, it looks good. So hi guys, I will be taking you through a little bit on gifting, merch, e-commerce, and m-commerce. For those who don't know what m-commerce means, it's mobile commerce, where persons use they're now using their phones to transact business and look for information. So we'll go through what gifting is. I think generally people have an idea what gifts entail or gifting entails, but from a business perspective, gifting is the first step to building relationships with employees, clients, and prospective clients. The objective of gifting is to make an impression and build a connection with the recipient, right? Business or corporate gifts show the recipient's importance and is an affirmation of your gratitude as a business owner. It is also one of the 5 love languages, so that's something to keep in mind. There are 5 love languages, and gift giving is one of them. So you want to be mindful of that. Did you know that happy customers and employees promote your business, right? And it's called referrals, and it's free advertising. So if you are a business and you are incorporating a gifting strategy in your marketing campaign, it's going to make your customers and your employees very happy. And they're going to talk about your business to others. They're going to, it's going to be free advertising. And people tend to listen to referrals a whole lot more than if they were to see an ad on social media or listen to an ad on the radio or on television, because it's coming from people that they trust it's coming from people who had their own personal experience with the business, and it goes a long way because they're, it's a personal review, and people tend to put a lot more weight on that type of advertising. So employee and customer appreciation gifts, they are an essential part of the marketing strategy as we know it today, and especially the digital online campaigns that we see businesses doing now. They accomplish a lot of different outcomes once you do it right. And some of those outcomes are, and are not limited to, maintaining relationships and building your brand, bridging gaps and developing a connection, right? So if it is that you are trying to reach out to your target audience or your customer base, and you need something to kind of help develop that connection, gifting or giving gifts is definitely one of the most underrated and untapped resources, especially locally, that you can look into to boost your business and to boost those connections and your brand loyalty throughout your customer base. And lastly, giving back and thanking employees and clients. Okay, so we always want to give back as a business. I know that we are in business to make money, but at the end of the day, it's a two-way street. If you're talking about connection, once you bring that whole element and that dynamic of connection into play, connection is a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. So think about a relationship. If one person is doing all the giving, and the other person is not reciprocating, then that connection is going to die. It's not going to be nourished. It's not going to thrive into something that can grow and, take on a different form. So giving back is definitely important when your customers or your employees do great work for you. You should show some kind of appreciation, because it really reinforces and gives them a signal that yes, you're here, you're hearing, you're seeing what they're doing, you appreciate it, you give them a gift, and a little goes a long way with customers and with your employees, right? So before we go into, the rest of the presentation, I just want to touch on this very briefly, just so that we know what gifting is not. Okay, and Joshua would have spoken about this. He would have touched on this earlier. Gift giving is not bribes. It is not manipulating your customers to get something, or that type of thing. It's not given with any malicious intent. It's not you giving a gift to someone that's hard to maintain or upkeep. So say for instance, you decide to gift someone a BMW. Now, I think if we all got a BMW, we would be really thrilled. We would be like, wow, this is for me, like totally amazing. Say what now, but think about the person, the recipient who's getting a gift. It might be amazing, but can the recipient maintain or upkeep a BMW? Can their salary, or does their current, standard of living allow them to maintain that gift that you gave them? It can become more of a burden and more of a sore point, or kind of embarrassing as time goes along, if they are not able to maintain or upkeep this particular gift. So you really want to be mindful of, the recipient when you are planning your purchase of merchandise for gift giving. And gift giving is definitely not giving to get repayment or to get back. This is definitely one of the little gray areas that people have when it comes to giving gifts. They feel like if someone gives them a gift, they are now indebted to that person and they now have to give them back something. and it can be a little uncomfortable. Sometimes you give someone a gift and then you find that they kind of distance themselves. And it's not necessarily because they don't like the gift, it's probably because they're digging horrors, because they feel like they now have to give you back something, and they didn't ask for the gift, and now they don't even know what to get you. So be mindful of these little dynamics that takes place on the side of the recipient when you are giving a gift. You want to consider these contextual factors in your assessment of potential merchandise. Also, you want to consider someone's religious beliefs. There are some religions that do not believe in gift giving, or, you know, giving gifts at Christmas and that type of thing. So you want to be mindful of that, because this is where giving a gift can actually work to your detriment. And in business, you want to make sure that every dollar that you spend is a seed in good ground that will grow into something that will be profitable, not only for you, but also for your customers or for potential customers and employees as well. Also be mindful of cultural differences. In some cultures, you don't give them gifts that are that are wrapped in white, because that is the color that they wrap their dead in. And if you give them a gift that is wrapped in white, you are sending them a very bad message, a very bad signal. They may even think of it as bad luck, or you are, there. So you want to be mindful, especially for hoteliers, people in resorts. When your guests are coming in, it's pay attention to what country they're coming from. And, if you have a history of getting visitors from certain countries, you should take the time to do a little research and create a brief on that country, things that persons who live there, that they like doing, that all the different cultural differences, so that you don't make a misstep and give them a gift that is insulting, and then they don't want to come back to your establishment because you are out of touch with your audience, so to speak, right? And lastly, you also want to match the spend or the efforts on the part of the customer with the gift. So it's not to say that a customer will spend $1,000 and have a chance to win a BMW. No. They have to spend a certain amount in order to qualify for gifts that might be attached to a particular campaign, right? Because then it can come across as a little shady. Like, how is it that this person was able to spend so little or do so little and get like all of this? It kind of comes across like a scam or a little shady as to others. So you want to be mindful of that, and we're going to talk about that, because you should consider tiers, and that's TIERS, tiers in your gift giving uh merchandise, and we'll talk about that as time goes on. But these are some contextual factors that you want to consider in your gifting strategy, right? So who is the gifting strategy for? Because some of you may be hearing this for the first time, like, say what now? Like, what is a gifting strategy and who is it for? The gifting strategy is for the high value customer. Okay, the high value customer. And the high value customer shops with urgency and compassion because they want to stay connected to their loved ones. And the high value customer really emerged during the COVID pandemic, when we were very disconnected from our loved ones. We were not able to travel, we were not able to visit them during the holiday time. And because they really felt the need to stay connected to their family, who maybe, some of them may be stranded away, some of them live in different countries, and they're now not able to travel because all the airlines, the borders were closed. The high value customer emerged, And this is a current trend, and the reason why gifting is becoming so much more meaningful and important to businesses and should pay attention to. Good, because the customer now, they are looking for merchandise, packages, products that they can gift to their loved ones in order to maintain and stay connected to them, in order to be a part of the holiday season, even though they're far away, even though they have to be on the Zoom, looking at their family in another country, blowing out the candle, you know, it's their way of still trying to stay connected. And it's, you know, for them, it's a matter of urgency, and it comes from a place of compassion and empathy and love. Yeah. So they are looking for gift cards. They're looking for gift packages. They're looking for items that are practical and giftable for, let's say, their mom or their aunt or their sister, right? Because this customer, they know their family member who they would like to gift, their likes, and they're looking for items that they their family member can appreciate, right? The high value shopper is looking for online or virtual gifts. They're looking for flowers that they can send to their loved ones online. They're looking for faith-based products that can inspire and motivate their, you know, their friends, or, you know, their girlfriend, you know, or someone that they really care about, by giving them inspiring words. So they're looking for faith-based products. They're looking for self-care items as well, and artisanal items that are really different, so that they, now that we are all home, it's kind of like we have to create a little staycation in our homes. We have to create spaces that is like home away from home. How do we do that? Well, we have to now order items, order gifts, in and incorporate them into our space and into our environment to create that you know, that scene that we want to have. And last but not least, the high value shopper is looking for personalized items. So they want to buy an item that says, you know, to my mom, and they want to put their mom's name on it. They want to engrave the name, or they want to engrave their boyfriend's name or their husband's name, things like that. That makes it very personalized. It's a keepsake item. It's something that the person can have for a very long time and remember and have fun memories. Oh, remember the year 2020 when we thought the aliens were coming back because, you know, COVID would never end. And, you know, it's just an item that reminds you of a point in time, you know, a particular year that something happened. And oh, yes, I remember that time. So these are just some of the items that a high value customer is looking for. And as a business, you need to be aware of that, because you now need to create these products or these packages, or make available to them in some way, shape, or form these items, if you would like to remain in business and to be considered by the high value customer. You know, you want to be visited by them, then you need to step on the gas and get some of these ideas in there, in your marketing strategy, in your gifting strategy, right? So next we have an example of what I was talking about. And I'm sure we are all familiar with Amazon, because I think when COVID started, Amazon was going crazy. Everyone was shopping online, and it was just too much demand for the supply. And here we see a very simple solution that Amazon incorporated their gifting strategy along with their marketing, and we have a gift card. And the gift card is very underrated, but it is very effective. And remember, I had mentioned tiers. Well, here we have a very good example where we have the standard gift card, right? We have the standard gift card here. And as you can see how the packaging looks, it's very standard. It is a particular value. So let's just put a value on this, $100 US, right? So if you give or gift someone this gift card valued at $100, they can now spend it to buy anything that they like. Now, some people don't like giving gift cards because they find it's a little bit lazy. But it all depends on how you look at it, because you know people's circumstances have changed so much over time, and especially during COVID, that and because you're far away from them now, you really don't know what their needs are, compared to before. So it's a safe route, and especially for a business, it makes sense to do something like this because it's not as limiting as others. As a business, you're looking to create packages that is really opens up your customer base so that you appeal to more customers, you appeal to more buyers, you appeal to more users, whether it be on your website or on your social media. Okay, we also have Amazon showing their baby gift card. So there may be couples that, or someone who knows of a couple that's making a baby and they don't know what to get that couple, because that couple might be very, fancy, or they might have particular needs because of their lifestyle. They may be very, you know, um, have a bougie lifestyle that you really don't know what to buy, but you can still participate in the celebrations by getting them, for the baby shower, a baby gift card from Amazon, and then now the couple can go there and shop to their heart's delight, and it's a win-win, yeah. And then we also have Amazon's premium gift card. And as you can see, it looks so much more amazing, like very luxurious, very high-end feel. It's literally the same card that we saw in the baby box and in the standard gift card, but they 10x it by making it, have a little gold foil, a little emboss, they put a satin in the box to make it really, and I'm certain that the value of this card is way more than the standard gift card, right? So this is an idea of how you can approach the gifting strategy in your marketing. Okay, if you're a hotelier, maybe you can have gift cards of varying amounts, valued at varying amounts. You can have one for 2 days. You can have a gift card for 5 nights. You can have a gift card for couples, or for groups, things like that, where they get a particular perk based on their purchase, right? So these are just some ideas that were incorporated by Amazon, which really is making waves. This is a local business, Dominion Appliances and Gift Shop, that I work with, and they sought to incorporate a gifting strategy into their business, much like Amazon. And what they did was, you can shop the practical giftable items. Here we have, they have curry products like the Hamilton Beach, so like the KitchenAid, Black and Decker products, Bissell products, Cuisinart products, because people are at home, and if you can give them something really nice, like let's say a nice cake mixer, and they are looking for things to do at home and they're really into cooking, then why not get them a KitchenAid, where they can bling out the kitchen and make cakes. And they say that the kitchen is the heart of the home. The family is all in the kitchen and everybody's eating and everybody's happy. So they sought to incorporate free gift wrap services. Well, not free, sorry, let me take that right back out of the universe. Not free gift wrapping, but they have incorporated gift wrap services so that when persons shop online, um they can have the item wrapped and delivered to their loved one, and it's like a big surprise, and it's a really nice experience that Dominion Appliances was able to provide for, you know, the customer, right? So this is just another example of how the gifting strategy has been incorporated in e-commerce and in the marketing. Okay, so we want a better understanding of the high value shopper. Okay, so we said that the gifting strategy is for the high valued shopper, but who exactly is the high valued shopper? And the high valued shopper emerged, like I said before, during the COVID pandemic. So the high value shopper is very mobile savvy. This person is on the phone in the morning, during the day, and in the nighttime, doing any and everything. They're very mobile savvy. They carry their phone with them. They do things on the go. They are looking for products. The whole nine yards. Very mobile savvy. So as a business, you want to ensure that you have the relevant mediums that the high value shopper can reach you at. And Joshua would have spoken to that. If you're not on social media and the high value shopper is always on social media, always on Facebook, always on Instagram, always on Pinterest, always on Amazon, on their phone, and you are not there, then my friend, you are missing out on an opportunity to meet and engage potential customers because you are not even in the conversation. Okay, so you want to ensure that you are there so that they can consider you when they are budgeting their salary month end, right? Okay, so you want to offer mobile online deals. You want to sell through Instagram and other shoppable apps. And that's the reason why I included e-commerce and m-commerce in this presentation. Because on e-commerce, the shopper utilizes websites like Amazon and so on. But now we are seeing that a lot of these platforms are now having apps available so that persons can use their phones because they understand that the high value shopper is mobile savvy. So you see Amazon, no, not Amazon, but like AliExpress, for instance, or Alibaba, you know, they have an app. Okay. So Instagram is an app. Now Instagram cannot be it can be used on your desktop, but the app is really optimized for usage on your mobile device. Okay. Facebook and other apps, they're really used on your mobile. And that's why mobile commerce is on the rise because everyone is on their phone now. Okay. Another thing that you want to consider for the mobile savvy high value shopper is to have an easy path to purchase. Don't make it so complicated online that it's like Alice in Wonderland. Like you don't know what to do next. It's so confusing. It's so difficult to purchase this product when they can just go somewhere else and buy, you know, something with ease. Ensure that there's an easy path to purchase, and you are definitely going to start to connect with your customers. Okay. Please utilize mobile commerce, right? Enable mobile money transfers, electronic tickets and passes for the hotels or even for airlines, okay? Because a lot of the airlines or some hotels, they're still using printout tickets. You know, you have to print it out and bring in this printed document. You know, come on now, we're in the 20th century where, you know, everything is electronic. Let us as business owners have some electronic solution because everyone is doing business on their phones. So please, let's try to enable that because the high value shopper, remember, is shopping with urgency and compassion to connect with their loved ones, and money is not necessarily the first thing on their mind. Like, they're not considering that they have to spend $1,000 as opposed to $500. All they know is connection and staying in touch with their loved ones is the highest priority to them, and you should help them. Please find a solution to enable that easy path to purchase. Okay. Another thing, please utilize mobile banking. Okay. We have WePay locally that has really taken off during the COVID time. They really rose to the occasion, making great strides to help businesses and persons, online, to bank in a much easier way. I see that a lot of local banks, took a page out of their book, and they now, have come up with their own app. So please find or partner or sign up for some sort of app that enables mobile banking, enables your establishment or your business to do mobile banking so that it's easier for the high value shopper. The next thing is, please, mobile marketing and loyalty cards. Everything should be optimized for mobile. Okay. Digital content, purchases and delivery. Everything is happening online now. You have an app for the bank, you have an app for delivery, you have an app to make purchases. There is an app for literally everything under the sun. So as a business, try to find apps that is best fit for your establishment and reaching your customers and incorporating that into your marketing and digital strategy. Okay. So another thing you wanna the high value shopper is looking for, they prefer personalized gifts and experiences. Okay, let me say that again. They prefer personalized gifts and experiences. Okay, now someone who's willing to spend a bit more money, they're not going to do that for something that's generic that everybody else can get. They're going to spend that extra money to get something that is personalized, that promises a unique experience, that can be enjoyed and that is memorable. Okay, so the high value shopper, that's what they're looking for. Another thing to consider in terms of the demographic is that the high value shopper, majority of them females. Okay, and going straight into the other point, the females tend to utilize Pinterest in their pre-purchase. So what that means is, before they make a decision to purchase a product or to look into a particular experience, they usually utilize Pinterest. Okay, and what is Pinterest? Think of Pinterest as an online magazine. It's the new modern online magazine. It's the visual version of Google because it's full of pictures, full of information, full of trending, what's trending. And a lot of females use Pinterest, not so much the males, mostly females. And before they purchase, they go on Pinterest first, and so you should have some sort of presence in Pinterest. I know a lot of businesses use Facebook and they utilize Instagram, but they are not sure about Pinterest or how to incorporate that platform into their marketing strategy. But really, the path to purchase, Pinterest is definitely on the path to purchase, because it's Pinterest, and then they make up their mind, and then they're like, I know what I'm going to get. I saw what I wanted on Pinterest, and they sent me the link, sent me here, and now I'm going to buy it. That is how that goes. Yes, that is how that goes. I am also like that. And so you really want to look into utilizing or looking into Pinterest. Okay. And, just to reiterate the whole fact that, a lot of business is happening online now. So we have the store here where people are shopping on their phones, like literally shopping on their phones, doing bank transfers on their phones, paying the bills on their phones. Everything is happening on the mobile device. Okay, we have an image here in case you're wondering, well, what does a personalized gift look like? This is just one example of what a personalized gift can look like. You have the person's name on the box, and then you have the items that is chosen by the gifter, to give the person. Again, easy path to purchase. Please, let's make it as easy as possible for the customer to buy, and of course a unique experience. All right. Okay, so how do we utilize branding in your gifting strategy? Okay, so first things first is you want to consider your packaging. Before you can even think about branding your packaging, please think about what kind of packaging you're going to use. And the reason I'm saying that is customers these days are very intelligent, and they are looking at environmentally friendly packaging. Gone are the days when customers would take what is given to them. Customers now are very environmentally conscious. They are very conscious about, global warming and the factors that contribute to, global warming and hurt to the earth, basically. And so they look at businesses that, the packaging raises a lot of eyebrows, a lot of questions. So consider your packaging. Ensure that it's eco-friendly. Ensure that it's reusable versus, single-use, packaging. Because these little things really helps the customer make a decision as to if to patronize your business or not. Okay, when it really get down to, the rubber meeting the road, these are some of the things that they really look at. Right. So now that you've decided what kind of packaging you're going to use, we are now going to brand the packaging. So you're going to be branding your envelopes, your bags, your boxes, your cards, your tags. Okay. The next thing is consider merchandise that you can build a set, right? You can build a set with. Okay, now I don't know if you noticed, I didn't say anything necessarily about branding your merch. Now I know that everyone, they brand their merch. Okay, you have a bag and you put visuals on it, or you put Ricia Island Regency on the bag. You have something else and you put Ricia Island Regency all over it. But when it comes to gifting, a gift comes from one person to another. It's not coming from Ricia Island Regency to Janet. Okay, it's coming from John to Janet. So you don't want to have your brand name all over the gift, and when it reaches the person, it's like, it's like you are jumping up in the middle there, just, like noise, you know. The gifting of merch is a little bit different. You can brand the box, you can brand the tags and the envelopes and that type of thing. But when it comes to the actual gift, you want to personalize the gift. So you have the person's name on the gift, not your brand or the business name on the gift. It's the person's name going on the gift. Your information can be on the box, or it can be on the bag, or it can be in a card, which is then placed into the box. You see how that goes? So another reason why you would want to do that is because now you can create merchandise and products that are highly desirable, and people just want to buy because they know that every time visuals drop product, it looks really good. It doesn't have visuals marked up all over it. It's just a product that they really, really, really like, and they want it. And they know at the back of their head that it is Visuals who is producing this merch. So they're gonna be buying it, and it opens your customer base up a lot more when you do it like that. And then you can just brand the box and the bag and that type of thing. But the actual item itself is branded with, is personalized or customized with the person's name. You see how that goes? Okay, so when you're buying the merchandise, okay, and this is where, you know, your procurement skills is gonna be really handy here. You have to find a good shopper or a concierge that is really, you know, thinking about all of these things when they're shopping. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so if you're a hotelier, this example is for people in hospitality, and you are looking or considering, well, what merch should I buy for my guests to gift them with? You can buy a picnic blanket. You can give them that because when they come to your island, I'm certain that they may need a picnic blanket because they may go out, you know, with their family or with their kids to the beach or to the park or to a heritage site, and they may want to, you know, have a little picnic where they would eat and have a good time. So you can brand your picnic blanket, and that can be a gift item. Okay. Another item is a tote bag. So you have the picnic blanket in the tote bag. It's practical, it makes sense, and it's also useful for your visitor when they are commuting all over the island. They can use it for their stuff as well. And of course, your brand is on the tote bag, so they know that they are staying by, you know, 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐴𝐻𝐴𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐻 Villas, and it's also, you know, very useful because they can put all their other items in it. Another item that you can consider, you know, let's say a water bottle, you know, because on the islands here, it's summer all year, it's always hot. So you want to have a water bottle, and the water bottle can now be branded as 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐴𝐻𝐴𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐻, you know, 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐻 Villa. The water bottle is, you know, in the tote bag with the picnic blanket. Yes, you see how it's building up here. Then we have the slippers. We can brand out some slippers. So you see, just like how Old Navy have their slippers, you can have some beach slippers because they will be going to the beach or to the pool or just, you know, the park, and they probably forgot their slippers. And then they came to your villa or to your hotel, and what do you know? I have some slippers, and it's like, oh, how thoughtful, yeah? And you can brand your slippers, okay? You can have a bottle opener because I'm certain that they will be opening some bottles. Some bottles will be popping tonight. So yes, so that makes sense. It's practical, and you can also put that together with the other items. And then you can have local branded wine. There are a lot of entrepreneurs that might be on the island making homemade wine, and you can probably collaborate with one of them to create a wine for your hotel. Maybe your hotel features flowers, and you would like to have a hibiscus wine. Let's say, for instance, I'm just coming up with these ideas on the spot, so please, if it's, you know, coming out like that, bear with me. But a hibiscus homemade wine that is branded, you know, as 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐴𝐻 homemade wine. It's, you know, only for 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐴𝐻, and it's a really nice gift item that you give the visitor. Or you can have some chocolates, right, that are artisanal, made, and when you put all of them together, it makes sense for the establishment, and it's also very practical and useful. Okay, so another way to utilize branding in your gifting strategy, consider your brand colors. So let us say, for instance, that I'm using 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐴, as a point of reference because, I know them quite well. Okay, so let's say 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐴's color is this color right here, this green color you're seeing on the screen. Then they would consider, their bags or their boxes to be that color green. And their logo will be on the bag or on the box. The font that they put on the bag. So let's say they decide to write welcome on the bag or welcome on the gift box. It's going to be in the font that is used by 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐴. Okay, and you might be, well, how do I know what font is used? Well, as a graphic design agency, we would normally provide a brand guide to our customers. And the brand guide is a guide that tells you as an entrepreneur or as a business owner or as an organization what your brand colors are, the elements of your logo, the name of the fonts, so that if you have to get stuff printed or you have to put stuff online, it gives you a guide as to how you go about doing that, and everything is in there. Okay, so the brand guide is very important to ensure consistency, because I'm certain if you look at the Nike logo, you don't see the Nike logo looking how it's supposed to look one day, and then the next day it looks droopy and sad. The Nike logo looks like a sad face. No, it looks how it looks every time, all the time. Each time it makes an appearance, it looks the same way. The Nike words, it looks the same way each and every time. It never changes. If you look at the Facebook logo, it looks, you don't see Facebook font looking one way today and then tomorrow it's in a different font style. Never happening. It is never going to happen. And that should not happen with your business either. So it should not be that, all these things are, you know, um, moving around. That is not supposed to happen, because your brand is supposed to be consistent and it is supposed to represent your business, and those things should not change. Okay, you have to use them consistently in order for the customer to recognize you amongst all of your competitors and all the other establishments and everything that is happening online. Okay, so the next way that you can utilize branding in your gifting strategy is telling your story the right way across all the platforms. Now, in a previous podcast, Carlton would have spoken about branding and particularly the logo. And he made a very important point. He said that the logo is just an icon. It's just an identification mark. It is not your brand, but it is an element of your branding strategy, of your visual identity. Okay, so yes, you have a logo, but it is your story, it's your messaging, it's everything that you put behind that brand is what branding is. Okay, so telling your story, your messaging on all the platforms, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, on your website, please consider telling it the right way. Okay, tell your story the right way. Ensure that it aligns with your overall brand identity. So if your overall brand identity is positioning itself to be a luxury brand or a modern brand or a very rustic, earthy, brand that some hotels or even, like tour guides and that type of thing. Some of them are very bougie, very modern. And then some of them, have a real island vibe, going on. Then make sure that your story and everything with your branding, they all align and make sense to the customer, okay? Because this story helps them to know, okay, I identify with this story. I identify with this brand. I really like what they are doing. I really like their vibe. I really like, they know what they like. It's very subjective. And those are the things that you don't have any control over, but however they feel about your brand is what is going to be the trigger for if they come to you to make a purchase or not. Okay, so that is why you on your end, you have to be consistent with your branding, consistent with your messaging, consistent with your colors and all of these things, so that when it all comes together, it creates that experience for the customer that's very easy for them, to understand and make a purchase. Okay. And lastly, ensure that your path to purchase is a nice experience. So I'm not sure if you've ever had an experience where, you called an establishment or you try to reach out to them online and, you know, uh, the person on the other side was so, rough, or they on the website it looks really nice. They look nice, the pictures are all nice, but then when you try to reach out to them on the phone and the person answered the call, it was like, say what now? Like, who's this? And did I call the right place? And it's like, it was not a nice experience, and you just like hang up the phone and you be like, next, you know. Ensure that your path to purchase is a nice experience. Now that we are online, ensure that the online funnel is easy and seamless. So it is not stressing out your customer, your high value shopper. Because your high value shopper, I'm going to say it again, is shopping with a sense of urgency and compassion. So they don't want anything stressing them out. They want something and they want it now because it's urgent, because they want to stay connected to their loved ones. Okay. So moving right along, I have some images here of some gift ideas. So here we have, an eco-friendly gift that a hotel can use. Okay. And as you can see, they use cork and paper. They have a nice towel in there. They have a little snack in there. You see where the branding is? It's outside here on the tag. So even though they take off the tag, they will still know where they got the item. See how good that looks? Looks really, really good. Well thought out. It's very different. It's very unusual. And that's what I mean by a unique experience. It's so unique, okay? When you get something like this, you're like, wow, I got this from this place, and it's so amazing. This is another idea of a gift item. So here I reinforce the whole idea of buying merch that you can put together as a set. Now, all of these items, you can gift it as a singular item. You can gift the cocoa gin alone, if you like, or you can gift the chocolates with a bottle of wine alone, if you like. But if you have a customer coming in that is going to be spending a lot of money, then maybe you want to pull all of them together and put it together in a nice packaging, because it really represents and matches the spend that the customer is making. Okay, so if you have a customer that is spending, let's say for instance, $2,000 for 2 nights at your hotel, maybe you want to give them these 2 bottles here as a gift. But if you have a customer that is going to be staying for 6 nights, then you would want to give them a bigger package. So you see how that goes? The more the spend is, the bigger the gift. Okay, so this is another item that I would like to make reference to, where this is a local brand made right here in Tobago, Main Ridge Wines, and the branding was done by visuals and, you know, in collaboration with Vivid Consultancy Group. And as you can see, the packaging is really quite nice, and I think that if somebody got this as a gift, they would be really thrilled. Okay, so this is what I mean by, you know, you can collaborate with a local entrepreneur to get the wine for your business, and it's a nice gift. Yeah. And lastly, we have this just for consideration. This is a box that we did for a couple. Okay, so that comes to the end of my presentation. I hope that it helped with, you know, understanding gifting in your marketing strategy. And I have a giveaway. And hi, Josh.
Wow. When I said we saved the best for last, you just didn't need to make me sound like an understatement. That was so awesome. There was just so much great ideas. I was just making notes as we went along, but I'm going to come back to those. I definitely need to wrap those up and recap some of those. I think we could have done our whole webinar series from the level of content. Even some of the person that came on, Catherine, actually commented earlier that, you know, I'm surely hearing this for the first time. Good information. You know, even Nicole came and said very true. She loved the slipper ideas. There was loads of ideas that you shared that I definitely need to repackage and share with some of the group members as part of the hospitality group. But I know you said you have a gift to give away, but just before you give away that gift, we did not get a chance
Yes.
to announce our winner from last week. So I want to take this opportunity to announce our winner from last week was handle PlayHookie868, and we just couldn't forget that one. So Visuals will be reaching out to you, and they will work with you to design a custom built social media package. But Ricia, you do have a gift for someone, and just let them know what they need to do to get that gift, and I'll guide them where as so I am on your page. What would you like that person to do to win that gift? And we will show them what they're going to be winning as well.
Okay, great. So for my giveaway, I will be gifting, you know, whoever is the winner, a digital product, whether you would like to get a thank you card or you would like to get a gift card made for your business to start your gifting strategy and to incorporate it into your marketing. Okay, because you can do printed versions of the card, whether it's thank you or a gift card, and then you can also have them on your website. You can also incorporate them on your Instagram or on your Facebook, wherever you choose. So you can visit, you can look at the store just to get an idea. And that is my giveaway. In addition to that,
All right, so just
also
for
have,
them, just remind them what they need to do. So I'm assuming you would like them to go to your Instagram page, which is Ricia Island Regency, and
yes,
I'm assuming they could click on any one of your packages that they like, and they could simply go and just type the hashtag branding 101 giveaway. So I'm pasting
yes,
that in the comments so that it's easy for you to remember. You could just copy and paste, go to Ricia Island Regency. I pasted that in the comment. Just click on any one of the wonderful examples that she would have posted, and on any one of the posts, just come to it. I can't win, so I'm not even going to try to type it and try to rig it, and just type branding 101 giveaway, and Ricia, as she indicated, will do a custom digital gift card for you, which is an excellent way for you to start your gifting idea. You just can't go wrong. And for those that is just joining us, if you want to connect with Ricia, what are some of the best way for them to connect with you, Ricia, in the event that they would like to get some specialized gift packages that you would be able to do, especially if they're local or if they want to get digital? What's the best way for them to connect with you?
Thank you, Josh. Okay, so yes, you can visit me on Instagram or on Facebook. You can send me a message there, and once you send me a message, it's easy sailing from there. We'll take it from there.
All right, and just for quick reference, on Facebook, it's the same thing, Ricia Island Regency on Facebook as well. So I'm just going to paste that in the comments for anyone that wants to connect with Ricia on Facebook. So you will see the post, the link also on Facebook and on Instagram for you to get that. I mean, Ricia, I want to thank you so much. There's just so much ideas. I took some notes of some of the ideas that I just loved, those ideas that you would have shared. Some of them included things like the hospitality gift card. Loved it. I think that's an excellent idea. I think you touched the point of doing e-commerce. So I love the idea of, especially if you're a hospitality provider, you could do like a souvenir e-commerce shop that's tied to what you're doing. Definitely making sure that you have access to an online payment gateway that is very easy for persons to purchase that. Love the idea of loyalty cards. I still think that it's something that has happened a long time, but it hasn't really lost its power. And you could really take that, personalize it for your hospitality property and create a loyalty gift card, especially. And I love the idea of tiers. So if this is not someone, this is not a gift that I will give to someone that's come to spend a night. But if this is someone that's really came and spent 2 weeks or something, they've really made an investment, I would love to be able to give this person, hey, thank you for spending your entire vacation with us. I would love to be able to give you this loyalty card. If you choose to visit us again, you will automatically get this off. I just love that idea. That's so really good. Personalized gifts. I think that is just so excellent. And especially when you know ahead of time that these persons are going to be coming, they're coming for a wedding, they're coming for something, they're going to be spending a long time with you. You already have their name, you know who they are. You could do something personalized for them that they didn't plan for, maybe a cake with their name, it's their birthday or so forth, ahead of time, especially when they've already spent a certain amount. You could really budget for these type of personalized gift that gets incorporated into your packaging without them even paying something separate for it. And I love that suggestion of just branding the package, maybe the label or so forth, and not the gift. Because sometimes we could run away with branding. I want to just put branding on everything. So I mean, I just had to take notes. Otherwise, I would have never remembered. There was just so much value that you brought. I know I'm going to have to cut it up for a lot of our group members, and I would promise you guys I'm going to send you these in chunks. We've tried to keep these webinars short, but Ricia just brought so much value. I just can't thank her enough. It was really excellent.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Up and sharing it, because each one of those slides is a webinar. I'm like, I just can't thank you enough, Ricia. You just packed it all in. When CGL Visual said they're saving the best for last, they did not disappoint at all.
Thank you.
Know how to connect with us. If you really want to connect with Ricia, please remember you could visit her on Instagram, and that is instagram.com Ricia Island Regency, where you could really reach out and see some of the gifts that she's doing and just get ideas and to connect with her. There are other digital, even if you're not in Trinidad and Tobago, she has a lot of ideas on her digital store that you could purchase and you could actually utilize and repurpose it and make it your own. So guys, we know this one was extended, but we just had to end this one with a bang. But Ricia actually touched one of our topics that we are going into next. So I mean, this, we're just so connected. So Ricia talked about storytelling. So I want to share with you our next topic, our next webinar series is going to be on hospitality storytelling. How to tell your story in a captivating way that you could reach your audience. How could you create a blog, and how do you generate organic traffic? How do you get captivating call to actions and writing and so forth? So I'm going to be joined with one of my special guests, a very good friend, Latoya Roberts Thomas. She's the managing consultant of LRTS Media and Business Solutions. She's been working in different niche, an avid traveler. She's traveled around the world and connected with different cultures and so on. So she's going to be connecting with us and sharing over the next 4 weeks how can you leverage hospitality storytelling. If you haven't joined the webinar as yet, you're really missing out. So again, how to join the webinar, go to vividconsultant.com/webinar, sign up for the webinar so that you could get the reminders. I'm going to be sending you several emails of Ricia's presentation. I got to cut it up. There's just too much value for me to send it to you in one go. I'm going to basically break it up. And that's the purpose of joining the webinar, so that we could really customize the content, break it up into smaller chunks, and then we will send it to you so that when you have time, you could always come back to it. And that's the purpose of being able to join the webinar, so you could get there. Do you want to connect with us and to share with others in the hospitality group? Remember to go to the Facebook group and join Hospitality Tools so that you could connect. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube page, remember to subscribe. Click that notification bell so when we post more videos like this, you will be notified. Ricia, any final thoughts before we close out?
No,
Sorry,
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, excellent. So guys, again, thank you for joining us.
It was
we
fun.
We will see you in the next one. It was an honor having you, Ricia. Take care, everyone.